Good evening. It's good to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is. And in a packed programme tonight, we shall have excerpts from 4 new BBC classic serials: What Katie Did, What Katie Did Next, Who Did What to Katie, and Son of Katie.
And we'll have film of the Knaresborough dustman who got married this morning. This afternoon, he carried his happy bride over the threshold, but through force of habit, dropped bits of her along the garden path.
After that, we present the massed mounted bands of the Household Cavalry, closely followed by the massed buckets of the Rhubarb Growers Association.
But first, the news. British Rail has introduced a new passenger service. It offers you breakfast in Aberdeen, lunch in Newcastle, dinner in London, and your luggage in Birmingham.
Mr. Zechariah Mole, the world's untidiest man, died today. His body is now lying in a state.
This week is Accident Prevention Week at Aldershot, and already 300 army wives have signed an undertaking to have a guard in front of the fire.
Meanwhile, the search for the man who terrorizes nudist camps with a bacon slicer goes on. Inspector Lemuel Jones had a tip-off this morning, but hopes to be back on duty tomorrow.
The record company, who recently issued Rod McEwen's greatest hits without a hole in the middle, today offered the following advice to buyers. Take a polar mint and, using it as a template, bore a hole through the centre of the record. For even better results, play the polar mint.
Finally, in Mere, Wiltshire, a Great Dane has been crossed with a bicycle pump to produce a dog that really puts the wind up postman.
Ralph Clark, I haven't seen you since, what, 1955?
Ah, goodness me.
How are you?
Those are the days, eh?
Oh, yes, yes.
Used to have some fun in those days.
Oh, yes.
Chasing the girls, that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah.
Remember those 2 dollies we took to the Isle of Wight?
Oh, Shanklin?
Yes, that's what I think we went for, yeah.
No, good old days, eh? How's your life now, then?
Oh, I've settled down, you know, married man and family man, really. 2 children, grown up and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Very nice, too. What about you, married?
No, never have. Always thought it'd be more fun single, you know what I mean? Take the girl I'm with at the moment, 20 years old. 20 years old. Ooh.
You swine.
Oh, yes. She likes things I thought only girls in books liked.
Utterly liberated.
Oh, a real goer, yeah.
I can't stand it.
She's here somewhere, actually, yes. She brought me along to meet her father, actually, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange, because my daughters, in fact, brought me here to meet her new boyfriend.
Well, of course. When I said she was a goer, I mean, what I meant was, if you're with her, and about 11 o'clock at night, she says, I'm sorry, I must go. She's a goer because she doesn't stay, so she goes. She's a goer.
No, I see, because when I said I can't stand it, I meant, you know, I won't stand for
Oh,
it.
yes, well, I understand that, yes. And when I said that she likes things only girls in books like, I obviously meant things like, well, knitting and needlework and crossword puzzles. Oh, by the way, when I did that, you know, what I really meant was she does get this slight rheumatism in her hand. But, of course, she can defend herself if any filthy swine were to try anything. Not that anyone would with her. I mean, let's face it. Not that she's not attractive. She is very, very attractive. Very attractive, but she's very pure, you see. She's very, very, very pure. I mean, she's so pure that she's never been further than, Virginia Water. I admire her and respect her for it. I really do.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Because when I said you swine, you know, I meant you swine. That's
Yes,
what
I know.
meant,
I knew you. I realized.
Roger, darling, come and meet Daddy. He's over there.
Oh, he's over there. Oh, I see.
Do come and talk to Simon. We've been waiting ages for you.
Oh, I see. It's a different Daddy. Oh, I see. Yes. I say, when I said cool, I really meant cool.
Now, when I went, you you swine. I meant you lucky swine. An 8p ice cream cornet, please.
What flavour?
Cheese and onion.
Cheese and onion? We don't have cheese and onion.
All right, then, smoky bacon?
We don't have smoky bacon either. They don't make ice creams in them flavours.
Well, you used to have.
We didn't.
Yeah, well, what have you got, then?
We got strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, dairy vanilla, nut sundae, fruit whip, Cornish cream, plum surprise, rhubarb full, knickerbocker glory, crunchy toffee, brittle, neapolitan, cosmopolitan, marshmallow, spearmint, coffee continental, orange, lemon, lime, lychee, pineapple, pomegranate, and ugly fruit.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all, yeah.
I'm sure you used to do salt and vinegar.
No, we never did salt and vinegar, ever.
You used to do?
No, we didn't. Never, ever since I worked here have we done salt and vinegar ice cream.
Well, how long have you worked here, then?
3 weeks. And we've never, ever done salt and vinegar ice cream.
Well, I think you're deluding yourself, or you should have. All right, I'll have something else. Sorry, what did you say you had again?
We've got strawberry, vanilla, blueberry, blackberry, gooseberry, full apple, charlotte, marmalade, honey and lemon, glycerine and menthol, sugared almond, flaky apricot, bigger knocker glory, banana, golly grapefruit, bright water and green gaze jelly.
Do you serve any of those without walnut chippings?
No, we haven't got no walnut chippings, but you could have them without chocolate sprinkle.
I don't like chocolate sprinkle. I only like them without walnut chippings.
Well, we haven't got any walnut chippings, so you can't have them without walnut chippings, can you?
Oh, you don't seem to have anything, do you? You haven't got smoky bacon, you haven't got cheese and onion.
Look, they don't make ice cream in them flavours. I've told you that before.
Oh, all right. I'll have something different. I'll have a packet of crisps.
What flavour?
Raspberry ripples.
Good day. My name is Spooner, Spocktodoona. I was frosting the punt of your shop, and I thought I would look in for a book. You must forgive me. I sometimes get one word nuddled up with a mother, you see. I'm frequently made a laughing frock. Yes.
Oh, yes, Dr. Spooner, of course. You're most welcome, sir. Now, which book did you require?
Well, how about the complete shirks of Wakespeare? Or perhaps a book of poetry by Kelly or Sheets.
I'm afraid we're rather low on poetry at the moment.
Oh, Potter. It was to be a present for my pud lady.
Your pud lady, sir?
Yes, my wife, the dear thing.
Ah, if it is for a lady,
Yes.
perhaps something fairly easy to read. Not too taxing for the female brain.
Ah, on the contrary, nothing too simple. Oh, no. My wife is a bright little reader.
A romantic novel, then.
Well, romantic...
The Vicar of Wakefield.
Ah, yes, the Vicar of Wakefield, providing it doesn't arouse her animal instincts. You see, she's very fond of red beading. Beading in red, that is. And last month I bought her Wuthering Heights, and when I got home that night, she was needing it in the rood.
I see.
Oh, yes, so I don't wish to encourage her to leap out of her vicars for the Vicar of Wakefield.
Quite.
Right. Now, let me see, what about chickens?
Pardon?
Dahl's chickens. Oh, yes, in my opinion, one of our most nipping grovelists. Something like David Kipperfield or Nicholas Nickleby. I know. What is the one about the lady with the large chest who advertises it for sale in the local newspaper?
By Dickens.
Yes, by
sir.
Dickens, you must know it. Yes. Of course, The Tale of Two Cities.
Well, I'm afraid not, sir. We could order the book for you.
No, that won't do. No, I must have it at once. You see, my wife has gone to the seaside at Wigan, and she comes back tomorrow, and I wanted to give her the whook when she got sea from the backside at Biggin. I wanted to give her the whack when she got big from the wee side. I wanted the book for the whack on the backside. I wanted to give her the biggin. You understand me?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Perfectly
thank
clear.
you very much. Perhaps I should have a book for myself. Now, what have you to offer me? A charm from your obvious parts.
Apart from your obvious choice.
Well, it is rather difficult without knowing your tastes. Perhaps something of an instructional nature. A textbook.
Ah, now one of my gobbies is hardening.
You need a copy of The Complete Family Doctor.
No. Gardening, my dear, gardening. Oh, I love my garden. When the sun is shining and the twards are bittering, how wonderful it is to rip out and pick a few noses. Perhaps a book on flowers?
Familiar wildflowers, from stinkwort to periwinkle.
No, not wildflowers. No. No, there is no room in my garden for perrywort or stinkwinkle. No. They must be cultivated flowers. They must be two-pins or lulips, coxgloves and carnations. Sweet peas, pooh bells and little net got me forth. Do you have a house with a garden?
No, I live in furnished rooms.
Ah, well, then you must come and see my garden. Oh, yes, and if you like it, I will gladly give you the goose of it. Why not pop round tomorrow for tea and trumpets?
I would love to.
Good, then let's sonset kittle, shall we? Goodbye.
I fear we still haven't found you anything to read.
Ah, don't worry. If it hadn't been roaring with pain outside, I wouldn't have bum in for a cook in the first place.
Delta Tango 1 to Foxtrot Whiskey Bravo, over.
Foxtrot Whiskey Bravo receiving. Go ahead, Delta Tango 1. Over.
What do you think of the new policewoman, over?
Very arresting, Delta Tango 1. She can oil my truncheon any time. Over.
Affirmative, Foxtrot Whiskey Bravo. Am responding also. Over. Delta Tango 1 to Zulu Charlie India, over.
Zulu Charlie India receiving. Go ahead, Delta Tango 1, over.
May I borrow your rubber, over.
Affirmative, Delta Tango 1, over.
Over and out. Roger, Zulu Charlie India, your rubber timed at 15:31, over.
Foxtrot Whiskey Bravo to all units. Did anyone see the match last night? Over.
Delta Tango 1 to Foxtrot Whiskey Bravo. Yes, I saw it. Over.
Not a bad match, considering that last up and under. Over.
Negative, Foxtrot Whiskey Bravo. I was glad when it was over. Over. What did you think of it, George?
I didn't see it. I was...
Ah, you're out. You're out.
Here's rather an unusual story about an octopus, now, which I hope will not give offence to any octopus lovers watching tonight, you know. Well, everything's possible, you know. I remember when I was small, and I have been smaller, yes. Never any bigger. That is a story I put around, and that story I put around about my being bigger is, you know, is entirely wrong, you know. The one, you know, when I said that if I hadn't upset our local witch doctor, I'd still be in the Grenadier Guards. That's lies. But as I was saying, all things are possible. Now, when I... You're seeing it now, eh? When I was a small child, I was once in love with an earwig. Now, this was after we got rid of the budgie, you know. Well, he had to go, because he kept saying, "Who's a pretty boy, then? Who's a pretty boy?" Until my father began to take it personally. And bought himself some eyeshadow and a handbag. What I was saying was I dearly wanted a little pet, and my father, you know, never had much money, you know. He would have had, you know, if he hadn't spent it all on eyeshadow and handbags. So he bought me an earwig. Well, he never actually bought it, you know. He got it off some people down the road who had more earwigs than they wanted. So, and I really loved that earwig. You know, I really did. I'd do anything for him. Saturday mornings, I used to hang about the barber's to see if I could pick him up an ear. And I used to teach him tricks, you know, little things. And then one day they had, at the pub, they had an unusual pets competition, you know. And I took my earwig along in a matchbox and I put him, you know, in his little hoop at his piano and got the tighter up out there in front. And he got up And when the judge, I cracked my little whip, you know. No, I had a little cotton whip. I used to crack it. And out he came to go up the tightrope. One of the judges said, "Look at that bloody earwig. To get it." But I digress. And back to the story about the octopus, which concerns a chap who got himself a job in a zoo. And the first morning, the man in charge said to me, he said, "This morning," he said, "I'd like you to clean out the octopus." And the chap said, I said, "How do I, how do I do that?" He said. Because he's not very bright, this chap. He said, how do I do that? He said. Actually, the crew, now I'll tell you why the crew are laughing, because that voice is a very lifelike impersonation of our new producer on the show. "Hello, Ron," he said. Terribly like him. And actually, I don't know why I'm laughing. If I'm not very careful, the unemployment population will have risen next Monday to 1,200,000. Although I must be fair and say that this new producer, is better than the other chap, you know. Or the other fellow. He had to go, you know. He drank as well, you know. This man doesn't drink half as much, to be honest, you know. He spills most of it. I actually heard this joke last night at the other producer's farewell party. We had a sort of thing, very quiet affair, to be honest, you know. Actually, as good times go, it would rate about the same as being trapped in a lift. The BBC were trying out their latest technique to save on drinks, you know. They hide the barman's hearing aid. And while you're trying to order a drink, they have two Jehovah's Witnesses trying to talk you out of it. Then the record players all broke down. The record player broke down completely, you know. So we put the telly on, you know. And a few of us danced to Match of the Day. And then the head of light entertainment showed us the home movie of his divorce. No, it's rather a sad story, actually. She was a German girl, you know, and they met during the war. They could never agree on how to bring up the children, you know. He wanted them to go into show business, you know, and she wanted them to attack Poland. which rather luckily reminds me of the joke I was telling, you know. The chap, the Polish octopus, remember the one? Does that, I suppose that sounds a bit contrived, does it? Well, you've got to admire the style, haven't you? Haven't you? Now, I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. And so the zookeeper said to the new man, he said, "What I want you to do is get the octopus out of his tank, dump him in the wheelbarrow, clean out the tank, then put him back again. Now, off you go." Well, a little while later, back comes the chap. He says, "I can't get him out of the tank." Keeps holding onto the glass with his teeth, with his suckers, you know. Slip of the tongue. Slip of the tongue on this program. I could be back on Magic Roundabout. And it can get pretty damned hot in that Dougal skin. So the man in charge said, "If he won't behave himself, you'll have to use the shovel," he said. So a few minutes later, the chap came back. He said, "It's no good. As soon as I prise one arm loose with the shovel, he gets a grip with the other one, like this." Keeps doing this. The man said, "No, you don't do it that way at all." He said, "You take the shovel, you give him a whack on the head with it, and he goes, 'Oh, me head,' and then you pick it up." Howdy do.
How do you do?
My name's Dear, Arnold Dear. I come here every year.
My name's Algernon Crust. You write limericks, I trust?
No, I'm only here for the beer. Just a joke. Just a rhyme and a joke. I can't help it, I'm that sort of bloke. Just a joke and a rhyme and a jolly good time. What I really came for was a...
Smoke?
No, I won't. Please don't think that I'm rude. Smoking's fine if you're in the right mood. I smoke with my food. My wife smokes in the nude, as long as it doesn't intrude.
Tell me, what sort of rhymes do you do?
Oh, just things about ladies from Crewe who step off the train, catch the foot in the drain, and the porter's all, "What about you?"
Well, I've written a book, and it sells. It's described by the Bishop of Wells as the best of its kind, and my work is confined to the loo walls of five-star hotels.
Of course, published by the AA.
Yeah, recommended by Egan Ronnie. Yes, it's perfectly true. And BBC Two made it into a play for today.
You're that wit who writes things about marriages on the walls of first-class railway carriages. Please tell me once more of that classic you saw on the seat of the boys' room at Claridge's.
Ah, my mother, a born intellectual, made me a complete homosexual. Underneath wrote some fool, if I gave her the wool, would she make me one? Not ineffectual.
That's the stuff I wish I could write. But I sit and I ponder all night and I come up with some tale of a cow and a pail, and the last line's a load of...
Quiet. My room's pretty grotty. How's yours?
Well, there's woodworm in both of the doors. There's a hole in the floor, but what worries me more is the dry rot they found in my drawers.
Have you noticed that little blonde tart?
Oh, how pretty she is, bless her heart.
She's a right little goer.
How well do you know her?
Well, she's not a real blonde for a start.
With those looks, I don't think I'd quibble.
No, I must say I fancy a nibble.
She's inspired you, no doubt, with the urge to give out.
Yes. Let's go to the gents for a scribble.
Before we go, the late news. An unhappy moment at King's Cross Station tonight when a Scottish football fan lost all his luggage moments after stepping off the train. The cork fell out.
And a car mounted the curb outside Mrs. Mary Whitehouse's home this evening, so she threw a bucket of water over it.
A pasty-faced Bamber Gascoigne flew into London Airport this morning complaining of the effects of heavy airline food and the complete lack of exercise on the long flight. His doctor later gave him a starter for 10, which worked well just before 11:30. Good evening. It's good to be back with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is. And in a packed programme tonight, we shall be meeting the Runcorn woman who married a gas board fitter and complains that on her wedding night, 3 of them turned up. One to estimate the job, one to do it, and one to pick up the bits in the morning.
Then I'll be talking to a Tinsley man who got into the headlines yesterday when he sat on a lathe and gave himself a nasty turn.
But first, the news. After 3 years of hard work, Irish intelligence experts today cracked Britain's highway code.
At the indoor horticultural show today, first place in the all-comers posy class was taken by Mr. T.A. Rose with 2 bunches of pansies. The second place was taken by 2 pansies with a bunch of roses.
And trouble at Dartmoor prison today when a bomb destroyed the toilet block. Local residents have complained that since then, at least 20 inmates have been seen going over the wall.
Foreign news. French wine growers fear that this year's vintage may be entirely spoiled due to the grape treader's sit-in.
But now, a sketch featuring Mr. Ronnie Corbertt, who recently gained a degree in mathematics from the Open University and is now looking out for a job as a pocket calculator.
Evening, Harry.
Hello, Bert. What you gonna have?
It's very kind of you. I think I'll have a pint of,
What, light?
No.
Brown? What?
No,
Mild?
no.
Bitter? What,
Bitter.
bitter?
Have a pint of bitter.
Pint of
yeah.
bitter?
Yeah.
Well, how are you then, eh? All right?
Marsh and Grumble. Just been up the,
Up club?
No.
What, dogs? What?
No,
What, fish shop?
no.
Doctors?
Doctors, yeah, I've
Doctors,
just
oh,
been
yeah.
up the doctors. Yeah. Only I've been having a bit of trouble with my,
Chest?
No.
Ears? Waterworks?
No, wife.
Oh, wife.
Only she's got it in her head that I'm a little bit,
What, annoyed with her? What, annoyed with her?
No.
What, a drunk? What,
No,
a puff?
no,
What?
no, a bit under the weather.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Doctor's examined me thoroughly, says nothing to worry about at all.
Oh.
So it's all right.
Yeah.
got me to drop my...
Oh, yeah.
Had a good look at my...
Go on.
He told me there was nothing to worry about at all. He said, on the contrary, he said I was very...
First class?
No,
Fascinated?
No.
What? Not friendly, did you say?
Fit,
Oh.
very fit. You know, very fit for a man of...
90.
No, a man of my age.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to know, really.
Yeah.
Of course, I only went up there on the...
On the bus?
No, on the off chance.
On the off chance.
You been up there lately?
No, I haven't. No.
It's all changed up there now. Oh, dear, yeah. He's got this marvellous, great, big new...
Rolls Royce?
No.
Waiting room? Receptionist?
Receptionist, yeah. Marvellous, great, big new receptionist. Yeah. Oh, she's got it all...
All up here?
No.
Down there?
No.
Where? Where's she got it?
She's got it all...
All over? She got it all over?
No. She's got it all organised up there. Up there, as you know, it used to be a right mess up the doctor's place, didn't it? Now it's all organised. I mean, I just stood there in a...
In a queue?
No,
What, in a vest?
No.
In a draft?
No. In amazement.
Oh,
It's like a conveyor belt up there now, you know. So now all this sexy quality business, you know, none of them cubicles anymore. You know, all the fellas had to take off the shirts and they stood against that wall over there. Yeah. And all the ladies took off their dresses and sat in...
Sat in blouses?
No.
Not sat in panties?
No. Rows, sat in rows.
Oh, sat in rows.
Tell you who's up there now, that young Julie.
Julie?
Yeah, you know, her mother's got them two big,
Teeth?
No.
Bay windows? What?
Alsatians.
Oh,
These two big Alsatians. Keeps taking them on the common and they keep biting people in the...
In the leg? What? What, in the front entrance?
No.
What?
In the evening.
Oh, in the evening.
Yeah.
Julie? Well, what...
Yeah, you know her, don't you?
What was she doing up there?
Well, apparently she went with this young fella one evening and they fell in the duck pond and now she's,
Pregnant?
No.
Stagnant?
No.
Fragrant?
No. Now she's off work with a cut foot. Yeah, doctor said she was very lucky with that duck pond. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a septic...
septic tank?
Septic toenail.
Oh, septic toenail.
Anyway, she was up there and... Well, better get getting off here.
Are you?
Yeah. Thought I might go home tonight and give the wife...
Evening off from the washing up?
No.
Bottle of stout and fish supper? A night you never forget?
Well, there's an idea, though. Thanks for the suggestions. I might give her all three.
Hello.
Oh, darling.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Are you, darling? Are you really, really happy? Are you?
Just being here with you.
Yes.
Us.
Yes.
Here together. Alone.
I know, darling. I know. Psst.
A word in your ear, John.
Now, look here. Look here. Who the devil are you?
A little bit delicate, John, a little bit delicate. I've got a little bit of business you might just be interested in. You know what I mean?
Darling, what is all this?
Don't worry, darling. I have a way of dealing with these Jehovah's Witnesses.
Turn it up, John, turn it up. Do you mind if we sit down and talk about this like sensible people, eh? Not too loud, though, you know what I mean? You know what wolves have got, don't you?
Sausages?
Ears, John, ears, John.
Yes.
Here we are, little newspaper cutting. Cast your eyes over there.
What is this? At last, relief from embarrassing itching. Well, what does it do?
Other side, John, other side.
Wealthy Baroness kidnapped. Whereabouts of Lady Amelia Withers still unknown. Well, what's that got to do with me?
Lady Amelia Withers, John, don't that name ring any bells to you at all?
Your wife, darling?
Yes, I know she's my wife, darling, but what's she got to do with me? What are you after, you little creep?
Perhaps I can make myself a little bit clearer. A lock of her hair.
Lock of her hair? Where the devil did you get that?
Off her head, of course. Where is it?
Very well, I believe
the chap who captured my wife and locked her up, yes?
Got it in one. You're a very smart boy. Now, what have you got to say to that?
Well done.
Now, I can understand you're going to be shocked in the first place, in the passage of time. I beg your pardon?
I said, well done. I'm very glad that you've taken the old battle axe off my hands. Your hands are so smooth, my darling.
Look, mate, you can plead till you're blue in the face for her return, but unless the 50 grand goes on the table, your dear wife stays where she is, I tell you that, mate.
You know, your skin is like milk, darling. It really is like
You
milk.
don't seem to understand my argument, John. Look, your wife is a prisoner in my secret hideout.
What secret hideout?
Oh, what's it? This secret hideout. Oh, you wouldn't know where it is. Could be anywhere in town. Need not be in this country. Maybe right out maybe anywhere in the world, my secret hideout. And you will never know where my secret hideout is, will you?
And supposing I don't pay up?
Out she goes through the window straight into the Catford sewage works.
And the best place for her.
Now, look, John, don't play any games with me, please. Don't play games. I can get very ugly. Now, look, I realise that you and your daughter here may very well want her ladyship back into the bosom of the family.
Look, just push off, will you arrogant little ponce, and leave us alone.
Look, once and for all, John, do you want your ladyship back or not?
No.
Look, I want a straight answer, John. I don't want any messing. 50 grand on the table, otherwise she stays where she is.
Look, how can I impress upon you the fact that I don't want her back? To me, she's a fat, ugly, lazy old bore with a face like a yak's backside and a backside like a yak's face. And I've no wish to see the grizzled old toe rag ever again in all my puff. Is that understood?
All right, you want time to consider it, I understand.
Look, just clear off, will you, squib features? We're trying to eat a meal here.
Look, I'm a reasonable man, John, and on account of the comments you have made, I am completely prepared to reconsider my original figure of 50 grand.
Well,
I'm prepared to make a new offer.
what is your new offer?
50p.
Get lost, will you? Some more matches, dear.
Look, John, your wife's... She's bleeding driving me mad back there, you know. I can't say much more of it. Knitter nattering on, she's got a voice like a glue factory.
You should have thought of that before you kidnapped her, shouldn't you?
All right, then what do you want to take her back, then?
£1,000.
£1 grand? You want your head testing, you can't.
I think I should warn you that my wife takes quite a fancy to small men. Having been denied her conjugal rights up to now, there's no telling what might happen when Saturday night comes right.
I've only got about £27 in here. I haven't paid the rent or anything. I've got the shop.
Just leave it on the table, would you?
You drive a hard bargain, John, don't you? I want this to be a lesson to you, I tell you that. Nobody makes me look silly, I'll tell you that.
Hello there. I saw you standing over here all on your own. I thought I'd just come over and make fun of you. Well, you have got a problem, haven't you, what? You're the life and soul of the party, aren't you? I bet you're a right-o little box of fireworks when you get going, aren't you?
I'm sorry?
Oh, dear. Oh, we're getting vicious now, are we? Oh, dear, vicious. I hope you're not one of these Hell's Angels people, are you? Come round to frighten us with your thick knives and your razor blades and your copies of Woman's Own, are you? No, you're probably not, no. I should think you're one of those obnoxious people who gate crashes parties just to pick fights with the bouncers, aren't you?
I have not gate crashed, I beg your pardon. I have an invitation. We both have.
Oh, both? Oh, you're married, are you?
Yes.
Oh, dear, your poor old wife. She's scraping the bottom of the barrel with you, isn't she, what?
Thank you not to talk about my dear wife like that. She is, in fact, a very warm-hearted and generous person.
Yeah.
I'll have you know she gave me extra pocket money last week. There aren't many women about like that these days.
No, thank God. She sounds a right old dragon to me. Fancy being stuck indoors all day with her.
Oh, no, she lets me out every day to go to work, you know.
That's very nice. Now, don't tell me what you do. You're an accountant, aren't you?
No, much too boring for me. I require something that's much more exciting, more stimulating. I may not look at, but underneath, I can tell you. Proper little firebrand, I should tell you.
No, are you really? What do you do, then? What are you, pork butcher in Golders Green, or what?
I'm a banker.
Oh, I see. Oh, how exciting. Gee whiz, baby. Fan my flies. Well, You must be a right little tearaway, mustn't you? You probably only came here because you thought it was going to be an orgy, did you?
Certainly not.
No, probably not. I think your idea of an orgy is a 1952 copy of Playboy, isn't it? With all the good bits ripped out. What's your name, by the way?
Gavin.
Gavin? I'd say that must be the most exciting thing about you, isn't it, Gavin? Oh, God, Gavin. I can just imagine your parents lying there in the dark and thinking that one up. They must be a right old pair. Talking of right old pairs, who made your teeth for you? A monumental mason? Or did you cut them out of orange peel?
Are you trying to make a fool of me?
Good heavens, no. No. I think you're managing very well on your own. Is your wife here, by the way?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she's over there talking to your wife.
My husband's a millionaire. What's yours?
A little rat.
Is he here?
Yes, he's over there talking to your husband. And it's time he was going home. He's beginning to enjoy himself. Come on, out. Bedtime. You haven't said a word to me all evening. Off hobnobbing with your male friends half the night, me standing here like a lemon. Come on, out.
Yes, all right, dear, I'm coming. Last year I spoke to you appealing for help for those who, like myself, have trouble with worms. They can't pronounce their worms correctly. Now, I am the secretary for the Loyal Society for the Relief of Sufferers from Mispronunciation. Now, the reason I am once more squeaking to you tonight is that many people last time couldn't understand what I was spraying. So I am back again on your little queens to strain it and make it all queer for you. It's a terrible thing to be ting-tied. It's even worse when your weirds get all muxed up and come out in Wakasay that you dick knock what you're thugging with. Like I did just then, only crutch much nurse. Now, it can be cured by careful draining at special draining stools, which the Society has fed up all over the Twittish Isles. And for the really dicky-felt cases, we have a 3-week bash course on the Isle of Fright. The doctors can get to grips with the patients, and the nurses can get to grips with the doctors, and everyone has a dolly good climb. Except the patients, of course, who find it diddly diddly dog. Or in other words, bitefully flooring. Now, people have tried to cure themselves. They stand in front of their bodroom mirror and say, every day, in every way, I get bitter and butter. But it doesn't cure them. You can bot your wife. And most of them usually do. The disease is spreading. It affects people from all walks of life. Members of the swivel service, lawyers, sillysodders, commercial dribblers, cockkeepers, and whack-refurkers. Especially on the nightshirt. And, of course, famous piddlyticians like Whitley Hamilton. Not forgetting Peanock Owl. Stars of Screech and Stain like Black Mygraves, Frantic Howard, and Peculiar Clark. And, of course, rude old Nureyev, the ballydangler. How can you help? Well, for a tart, it's no good. It's no good simply trying to correct people when they suffer from this complaining distress. My wife does it to me all the time. Lucky old you, I hear you swear. No, I mean she corrects me when I get any ring thong, and it makes me lavvy and Ingrid. Last time I backed her up the kickside. We need money, your Minnie. You may row ashore that it will be put to the best possible use by myself and my large and loyal stiff. Send your chocks or pistol orders today. Smash open your baggy pinks. Dip your hand into your wife's bags and send us a few codhoppers. Or why not simply slip a pond newt into an envelope? Send your donations to me, Popta Podger Smish, at my new address, 51 Dewberry Road, Kiddling, Dorset. I'll just repeat that, Dr. Smidger Posh, Wifty Fun, Dewberry Road, Diddling, Dorset. Thank you for glistening. Good night and a crappy Isthmus to you.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can I help you?
Yes. Could I have a tin of elbow grease, please?
You what?
A tin of elbow grease. Only we've got a mark on the wardrobe at home, you see. And I've tried to get it out, and the wife suggests I use a bit of elbow grease on it.
No. That's just a slang expression, sir.
What?
There's no such thing as elbow grease. No, that's just a way of saying put your back into it, you see. Elbow grease doesn't exist, you see.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't, sir.
Look, if there wasn't such a thing as elbow grease, would I have come in here and asked for elbow grease? What do you take me for, an idiot?
Yes.
Don't talk like that. I'm the custom here. Go and get me a tin of elbow.
Look, I'm sorry, sir. There's no such thing as elbow grease. It's just your wife's way of saying put your back into it, you see. It doesn't exist, you see.
If it meant put your back into it, it would be called back grease, not elbow grease.
No, back grease, elbow grease, there's no such thing, sir. It is just a saying.
Ah, I know that. I know that, really.
Well, why do you come in and ask for it then, sir?
Well, I was just plucking up courage to come in and ask you if you've, if you've got any packets of, What? If you've got any packets of,
What? Packets of what?
Any... Things.
What?
Any packets of things.
Look, sir, I've got hundreds of packets in this shop, and they're all full of things.
I don't mean things like that. I mean things like that. Yes. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Yeah.
I'll put the money on the counter and I'll turn round and stand as though I'm waiting to meet somebody, and you slip the things in my pocket, and then no one will know.
Okay. Okay, you can turn around now, so it's all over. It's exciting, wasn't it? Like James Bond, wasn't it?
Well, where's my change? Could I have my
Change? What change?
the change for the things you've just sold me?
I haven't sold you anything, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
You've just done me out of a fiver.
No, I haven't sold you anything, sir. If you don't want to buy anything, would you mind leaving the shop, sir, please?
All right, I should take my custom somewhere else. But think of the business you'll lose when I go down with a nasty attack of the flu.
I'll survive, sir. Are you, just a minute, are you going back to the wife, are you, are you?
Yes.
Here, catch.
What's this?
Elbow grease. Put your back into it.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight, but before we go, the late news. Mr. Percy Tweeter, a Warminster stereo enthusiast, today celebrated 25 years of marriage. He paid tribute to his wife's high fidelity and said that although her bass had developed a wobble, she still went smoothly at 3 speeds and turned on at the touch of a finger.
And British scientists do it again, which puts them in second place behind French scientists who do it again and again. This week, research teams from Dunn's and McDougall's, working together, have produced the world's first self-raising hat.
Next week, we'll be meeting the ornithologist who took his hearing aid to be mended 8 months ago and hasn't heard a dicky bird since.
And finally, let us remind you that the new BBC series, How to Improve Your Sex Life, goes out for the first time tonight at 11:45. And just in case you miss it, it will be repeated at 20-minute intervals throughout the night.
So, it's good night from me.
And it's good night at 20-minute intervals from him.
Good night.